Hey guys, this is Lori with Ellen's Crafty Creations, and I am here with my second Doodlebug So Punny album. Has a string right here attached to it that needs to come off. Okay. This is a 7" by 7" mini album, and it has about a 2" spine. Again, I don't remember. 2¼ about 2¼ inch spine, and it has 3 pages. On the front cover here, I have just layered some of the paper. I layered this on some white cardstock. I inked around everything with Tim Holtz black soot, which is one of my favorites to use. I added the doodle pops to this card. You can see where they're popped up a little bit there. And on the doodle pops came these like enamel stickers, and I added those there as well just to accentuate the little card. And then I added my denim, my favorite denim paper by Die Cuts with a View on the spine. I love this paper. And then there's the back, just the cute heart paper on the inside. I have 3 different page designs, different from the other previous book. On the front cover, I just decided to have fun, and you can see it's total craziness. I've added glossy accents to everything here, and then I've gone around the little circles and everything with my stickles. I have some of this beautiful seam binding here, and then this is like a 3x4 photo mat. I used the denim paper again. It's cut to 3¼ by 4¼ and then I added some enamel dots throughout here. On this side, I have a pocket at the very top. And then I just have a simple photo mat, and then all of my cut-aparts, I added glossy accents to them. And so I've done that with this one, and so there's that one, goes in the pocket. And then on all the pockets, every page has a pocket like this, and I've done these booklets just like I did with the previous album. And on the inside, they just have strips of paper. There's a swing tab here. It opens up and then down, and I can't even get this into the frame. But on the bottom, there's a little, let me flip it over. There's a little deal here. It says, "You're my better half." And I got my ugly glue or something on this cut apart, but there's 2 flaps that fold out here. Again, I just stuck a little cut apart in here, and then just that border strip. And this closes. On the inside, you have the large space for photos. And then again, I left them open so you could just tuck things back behind them. And then it flips over. I can't decide if this was a fail or a win. So I tried my hand at the pool waterfall. I'm going to show you how I did it in the tutorial, which is coming up, but I don't know. So, okay, so you pull it and it flips. So there's 1 flip, 2 flip, 3 flips, and it kind of stops. So if you're looking at it head on, you can see the photo here and here. So I don't know if I did it right or not. I'll show you how I did it, and then you can even maybe Google it or YouTube it or whatever to figure out if I did it correctly or not. But that's my little waterfall feature, and I should have put some kind of like pull thing here, but I didn't. But it pulls that way and back. So I thought I can't decide if it's cute or if I like it or not, so there it is. And here is my little booklet for this page. And when I added the glossy accents, it really worked my booklets. I just went crazy with the glossy accents. And then here, these were little cut aparts from the collection. That goes back in the pocket. On this page, this little thing is getting beaten up by my, oh no, it's by my juice box. Ooh, yuck. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix all this, but not right now. I'll probably add glossy accents to both of those to keep that from happening. So there's a tab here, and this flips open, and then open this way. Cute little ephemera pack here of our gnomes that says "We're the perfect pair," and then this folds down. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little pocket here with a cut apart. "I love you no matter what." And then this just folds back up, and the swing tab keeps it closed. and then again a booklet on the inside. And there's nothing on the back, they're all plain on the back. And then this one opens up. These are completely glued down because they're border strips, and I just pieced them together, and I thought they were really cute. This is Bow Bunny double dot paper, and I think this is the only area that I used it in. On the insides, this is the same double dot paper. So that flips over. So here I've added glossy accents to my tabs, because the way the page works, they kind of end up knocking each other, and it seems to really help. They're not getting beat up anymore. So I have a smaller booklet in this pocket. Just will hold 4x6 photos. And then I added the border strip at the top there. And then here, this is my favorite page of both of the books that I made. So this flips down. It's tricky because I added the glossy accents to it, and I didn't realize it would make it so stiff. And then it flips up, and then down. And then in here you have this accordion fold gorgeousness. And it folds out this way. So you have room for, I'm knocking my camera. So there's 3 photos on this side, and then 3 photos on this side that are decorated. And these are 2x3. And then you have the large space here, and this is left open. And then you have the 3 photos here. This one says we're soy mates. Super cute. And then flip it over, and then you have some don't go bacon my heart right here, and then more photos. So 12 photos just on these flaps, plus you could put one here and there if you want to. So these just fold up nicely here, and this keeps it all closed. So that was definitely my favorite feature. This one folds this way. 2 pieces of ephemera here that again I went crazy with the glossy accents there. They flip up and down. And then always, if you're familiar with my albums, wherever a photo is going to go, if I know just a photo will fit there, I don't add paper. And I don't add white cardstock either. I just don't feel the need. Sometimes I'll do a place photo here, like I did on the accordion thing, to give you all the good idea of what you can fit there if it's necessary. So that just closes up, and then here I made this booklet. This will hold full 4x6 photos. Again, I added some enamel dots, and there's the inside. And then this one opens up again. This one I did leave open on each side, and then some more enamel dots. And then flip it over. And then this page, there is my booklet on the inside. I used the border strip on the pocket here. And then this one, there's an acetate pocket here that I added my decorative acetate and decorated the pocket. And then there's another booklet on the inside where I use that cute cut apart again. And this one flips up for portrait photos. And then you put that in here. This is magnetized, and it opens up this way. So you have room for a photo here. And then I wouldn't put a photo here, but you could. And then it flips up this way. And then I've added these pieces of ephemera that were still left open so you could tuck things behind them. And then it folds down, and there's a magnet. Actually, my magnet's right here. So I thought that was super cute. And then here I just cut out some pieces from the collection, added my glossy accents again, and then put a photo mat there so you could place your photo right there in the middle. Isn't that cute? So that's it for that album, and we're going to go ahead and do a tutorial on it right now. And my paper right there is kind of breaking. That's because my crease is right there, and I didn't realize it was going to be right there, so that was my fault. So here are my base pages. I'm going to start with those. I've already made something. Yeah. So I've already made 2 of my base pages. You're going to need 3 for the album, so I'll make 1 with you. They're just like the other album if you've watched that video. And let me get my stuff ready here. So this one's just the same, like I said. So you're going to cut 3 pieces at 7 by 7. And then you're going to cut 3 pieces at 7.5 by 7, and you're going to score on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines, or score line, and I'm going to add this page to this side. Again, I apologize for the black cardstock. I'm actually going to make this into a book instead of just throwing away the scraps this time, because I want to come back and show you this. I'm going to make a larger book instead of 2 separate ones with my Raining Cats and Dogs paper, and I'm going to put photos in it. So that's my next project besides the whatever else I'm working on that you don't care about. So next I'm going to do a pocket right here on this side, and the opening is going to be right here. Cut 3 of these at 8 inches by 6.5 inches. Score on the 6.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and on the 8 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Miter your corners. And fold on everything. And I'm going to add my glue. I'm going to stick it down. I'm using Art Glitter Glue for those of you who do not know or not familiar with it. It is my favorite glue to use for scrapbooking projects, and I buy it at countrycraftcreations.com. It is not sold in the winter months because it freezes and it doesn't do well in winter, transporting in winter, so I buy gobs of it before winter comes. Alright, so there's that pocket. Now we're going to flip this over completely, and we're going to put our binding pocket on this side. So you want to cut 3 of these for 3 base pages at 8 inches by 6 inches. Score on the 8 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Fold on those lines. Add your glue. And there we go. So what you'll have is a closed pocket on the first page, a flap that flips open. If you would rather not have the large space for photos and would rather have a pull out here, all you have to do, add your score tape or your glue right here and glue it down, and then you can put your pull out in there. And then your binding pocket is on this side. Okay, so now let's get started with our pages. For page 1, you're going to start off with this pocket, which coincidentally I did not label on my instructions, so I don't know which measurements it's for. So cut it to 7 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Score on the 7 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then on the 5 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Miter your corners, and then fold on your score lines. And then we're going to add this right to the bottom of the page. Right to the bottom here. My opening is at the top. Okay, now we can add the flap that goes at the bottom. This one is 5.5 by 6. Scoring the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then fold on that. Add your glue right here, and this goes on the very bottom. Then you're going to cut a smaller one at 3 inches by 6 inches. Score on the 3-inch side at 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to miter the corners of this flap just a little. And I'm going to fold on my score line. And I'm going to add the glue to the inside. And I'm going to stick it in here. So I stuck it inside this pocket. So let's open this up and add our 2 smaller flaps. These are 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And you're going to make 2 of those. And you're going to add these right in the middle. Excuse me. Right here. I would just try to get them in the middle as best you can. I think I got mine a little bit too high, but it's okay. And the other one, you're going to add your glue and just get it, make sure it lines up with the one you just placed, and stick it down on the opposite side. So there's our 2 flaps. So these will fold, and again I used a swing tab here, but you can use a magnet if you like. So flip this page over and we'll do page 2. So this is, let's set this aside actually. This is what I did for my waterfall thing, which I need to write these measurements down because I didn't put it down before. So you're going to cut a piece of cardstock to 4 1/4 by 12 inches and score on the 12-inch side. Let me figure this out real quick because I didn't write it down. At 3 3/4, 4 1/4, and then 4 3/4, 5 1/4, and finally 5 3/4. Okay, that's what I did. So you're going to take this and you're going to fold. See, here's this long piece here, that's going to be your pull. So fold it back, and you're going to want to fold on each score line too, like so. Because when it's all laying flat and you have your pull, it'll pull like this and flip up. Okay, so this is how I did it. Again, if you can figure out a better way, go for it. But this is what I did. So then you're going to cut 4 pieces, and I did craft cardstock in black so you could see the contrast for this particular item. And then I cut 4 pieces of 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now I added my glue. I'm going to do this flat. Added my glue on the first 1/2 inch space and stuck down my cardstock like so. Right? But I didn't go, made sure not to go past the score line. And my glue, my page is sliding all over the place. And then I just kept going. So I did the next one between the 1/2 inch space, added my cardstock, so it looks like a waterfall. Next one, added my cardstock. And then my final 1/2 inch space and added the cardstock. Don't go over the score line. So then this folds back and here is your piece. And so once it's held properly, it will flip like this. Okay? And mine didn't flip all the way. So should flip all the way like that, right? I don't know. I'll show you what I did, and you can tell me what I did wrong if y'all can figure it out. So then I added this. This is 12 inches by something, 1 1/2. And then all I did is I took it and I put it right here, and then I closed this and I folded it over. I didn't score or anything, I just folded it over. So this is what's actually going to glue, you're going to glue to your page, just this piece right here. So I just have to figure out. Now what I did is I glued this piece right here on the back of this. And then when you close it, so this is the back of my waterfall, and I added glue right here, all in the back, and I glued it down right here. Okay, and I didn't even, well, I tried to get it even, but, and then I stuck this down, and then you fold this over and fold this over, and you actually add glue right here to glue this down, like this. Okay, does this make sense at all? If you want to add just a traditional waterfall on this page, you can. But I wanted to try something different. So now, this will slide like so. So, how does this, if I pretend that this is glued down, which is hard to do, so if I hold it this way and it's glued down, it'll stay flat, and then I just pull this tab here at the bottom and it should fold like this in an ideal world. Okay, so that's how I did mine. And this cardstock is stiff, so it's not laying flat, but you can tell that in the book it did lay flat for the most part. I didn't add any magnets or anything. So here's my pull. And I think I added my closure a little bit too high last time. I put it down a little lower this time. So then it flips like this. And then this one doesn't come up. And there. So maybe it does work the way I wanted it to. I just didn't pull it far enough. Maybe that's what it is. So anyway, I'll let y'all be the judge of whether you want to do that or not. But it would glue, you'd put your pattern paper here and you would glue it right here. And make sure you just add glue to this piece right here, because you need this piece to be able to move, to make your flaps move. Okay? So there's that. I'm going to stick this in this pocket, even though I'm not going to use it. So there's page 2. I hope that wasn't too confusing or crazy. So next, take your completed base page, and we're going to do page 3. Page 3 is this little envelope type deal. So the first one, you're going to cut this one to 5 1/8 by 7 inches, and you're going to score on the 5 1/8 of inch side at 1/2 inch and then at 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to fold on these, and I always do the 5/8 of an inch gusset first, and then I fold on the 1/2 inch because for some reason it's easier for me to do it that way. So when you do that, it should give you this little gusset right here, a baby gusset. And then I'm going to add my glue here and stick it down. And it should go all the way to the end. Don't glue your gusset down. So it flips open this way. And then for this flap, you're going to cut it at 3 1/2 by 7, and then score on the 3 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch, and again at 5/8 of an inch, and then fold on those just like we did the other ones. And I'm also going to miter these corners just slightly. And I'm going to tuck this in right here into the pocket. And again, messy person with the glue. Just make sure you don't go over your score line for your 1/8 of an inch gusset there. Then I'm going to add this small little flap. This is cut to 5 7/8 by 5 inches. Score on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Fold on that. And you're just going to add your glue. This one doesn't need a gusset. You're going to add it directly on the bottom. Just center it. It's a little bit shorter just to make sure that everything folds together nicely. Like a 1/16 of an inch shorter or something. Maybe even an 1/8 of an inch. So now you're going to fold this one down, and we're going to add a teeny tiny pocket here. So cut this at 1 3/4 by 6 7/8 and score on the 1 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 6 7/8 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then go ahead and miter. And just a little baby pocket for a cut apart or a journaling card or whatever you want. Just add it right there at the bottom. This flips up, and then these two close. And then I did a swing tab here. Now for page 4, flip this over. And this is my accordion style page. That is my favorite. So we're going to add the flaps at the top first. So you're going to cut 2 flaps at 5 inches by 6 inches and score on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch and then at 3/4 of an inch. And then fold on all those score lines for both pieces. This I gave you a 1/4 of an inch gusset for this page since it has so many flaps on the inside. And these you're just going to add right there at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to flip this over because it's easier for me to add it that way. I'm going to add my glue here and stick this down. Don't glue down your 1/4 of an inch gusset, only that 1/2 inch hinge. So right there at the top, You can see my 1/2 inch hinge is here and my 1/4 inch gusset is right there. So when you fold it, it should look like that, almost like a little box. Do the same thing at the bottom of the page. Add your glue. And stick it down, lining it up on all sides. Now, in order to make this page work, please listen carefully. You're going to want to cut 2 of these at 9.5 by 6 inches. Score on the 9.5 inch side at 3 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. So 3, 6, 9, and do that for both. And then miter your, well no, you don't have to miter your corners. Fold on your hinge there. And then I folded mine, I believe, this way, and then this way is how it goes. Let me show you that again with the other one. Fold on your hinge, and then I'm going to fold it in, and then in that way. Okay, so make sure you get a good crease on these. I know I'm shaking my table a lot, sorry. So now you're going to add your glue to the inside here. And stick it inside here. And you should be able to line it up almost between the 2 hinges for the flaps. And it should come out just perfect that way. And then this is your accordion flap here. And you'll do the same for the other side. Add your glue to the inside here. So the important part here is to make sure you stick it underneath these pockets. That is important because it gives you just enough space between them to where the back of this won't show, but they fit together perfectly. So make sure you add them inside the pocket here and inside the binding pocket here to make this work just perfectly. And that's how they fold out. And then fold it here, and again I used a swing tab. Okay guys, we have 2 more pages to go. So grab your base page, and this page is super simple. You're going to cut 4 pieces at 4 1/4 by 4 3/4 and go ahead and fold on all of your score lines. And then we're going to just add them evenly on each side. So add your glue to the outside of the flap. I'm going to add the first one at the top, and I'm just going to try to center it on the page. Right there on the top. Now wherever you add this one, go ahead and add your bottom one and just line it up. And then I'm going to add this one on this side, again trying to center it. Make sure you have the same amount of space here and here. You can measure it out if you like. And I'm actually going to put this one on the inside of this pocket, but you could just put it on the top if you want. It doesn't matter with this. Whoops, don't glue my pocket down. And again, you're just going to line it up with this flap. I know you can't, it's so hard to see with black cardstock. So here we go. So we have the 2 flaps that fold out and then 2 that fold up and down. And I think actually I did mine this way end this way and have my swing tab right here. So that's it for that page. Flip it over. And on our last page, we have a little acetate pocket. I'm not going to cut and add the acetate in the video because you've seen me do that a million times if you've watched. So the first thing we need to add is this flap. And you're going to cut this at, make sure my measurements are correct, 6.5 by 5. And then score on the 6.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Fold on that. Add your glue to the inside here. And then this goes at the very bottom on the inside of the pocket, very bottom of the page. So then you have your flap. Now, your pocket, I'm going to go ahead and miter my corners, but I'm not going to glue this down because I am going to probably add acetate to it. I'm just not going to do it in the video, but I will give you a quick how-to. So this pocket is cut to 7 inches by 5.5 inches. Score on the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 7 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And if you want to add acetate to this, you flip it over, and then each side that has a score line, measure over 1 inch and draw a line. And then, to each side, okay? And then to the side that does not have a score line, you measure over 1/2 inch and draw a line. Then you'll cut out that piece, add your score tape around the edges of that piece, and then cut your acetate to fit, and then there you have your acetate pocket. I'm just going to put this aside for now because I'm not going to add it. But what you would do is, actually I'll tell you quick, is you're going to fold on all of your score lines, and then you're going to add your glue on the back of there, and you're going to stick it directly on top of this flap, and it should line up just perfectly on top of the flap. So this will be one pocket with the opening right here. Okay? So I'm just going to tuck this in here for now because I'm not going to add it. So flip this over, or you don't even have to. I'm going to flip this over to this way because I'm going to add this flap here, and it's easier for me to see. So this is cut to 5 7/8 by 5, and score on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to fold on this, and I'm going to add my glue on the outside, and I'm just going to add it right directly at the top. And it is cut slightly smaller, so I'm just going to line it up evenly, because what's going to happen is this flap is going to be behind here. Okay, so pocket, flap, and then large spaces for photos here. And that's the last page. I think that was a super easy tutorial. I hope you think so too. Next time, I promise I won't use black cardstock on my next album tutorial, and I apologize. I just didn't want to have to make it another 2 and 3 times. So this collection is just adorable. It was my favorite. That's why I made the 2 albums. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the page styles, and I'm going to pick and choose a few, and I'm going to make a larger album with the Graphic 45 Raining Cats and Dogs paper. If you want to purchase the Doodlebug So Punny collection, visit countrycraftcreations.com. Tamara has this in her shop right now, and it is just adorable. I had, the collection, and then I had enamel dots that went with it, and then the ephemera pack. And I would also suggest, if you're going to buy the ephemera pack, buy the other pack that comes with all the words too, because that's helpful. Because I actually cut these words out of the paper, and it was kind of a pain. So buy the extra ones that comes with the words. It's worth it. And that's all I have for you. All of the measurements, as usual, are down in the comments, the description below. And I will also include all the measurements for these booklets that I created as well. They're the same as the booklets for the previous album, so that's all the same. If you make this album, post it. Visit us at scrapbookersofcountrycraftcreations.com. I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. I say that every time too. Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations Facebook page is what it's called. And visit me on my Facebook page at lmscraftycreations.com. And I would love to see your creations and what you make using this album tutorial. And thanks for watching.